Hi everyone. I think people of the world focus on really three spots in the world right now. Of course, Ukraine, the invasion by Russia in Ukraine. And second thing is probably still Taiwan. The tension there is still high, Taiwan and South China Sea. And the third focus probably what happened with the Shanghai lockdown. I guess most people have seen terrible video picture about Shanghai. And I'm going to maybe to share with you what are the links between these three things, Ukraine, Shanghai, and Taiwan. They are far away from each other. What do they do with each other? Well, there is a red line through the whole thing, and that is Chinese Communist Party. Some people say, Ukraine, in the Ukrainian war, the Russians have big difficulty, and they did not manage to make a victory as fast as they thought, and they think with this happening, the risk that China, Communist China, start an invasion to Taiwan will be less. I'm not so sure. And some people say, the internal fight within the party fight, may also reduce the risk of CCP invading Taiwan. I also not quite agree, and I will explain to you why. So finally, we will explore, the real risk of invasion against Taiwan. Now, why I'm saying that I'm not quite agree to the point that, when CCP see that Russia has so big difficulty to occupy Ukraine, they would then think twice or maybe many times before they invade Taiwan. I believe the Chinese Communist Party actually did not know, they were not 100% sure what the development would have been in Ukraine. But they watched very carefully, and they are learning very, very carefully. All the weapon the Western country supplying to Ukraine, with all the unmanned drone, which and also some anti-tanks missiles, which seems to be very efficient to stop the invasion of Russia, which is true. But it doesn't mean that, CCP will then learn the lesson, it's so difficult, we better stop. No. They know that it won't be easy if they invade Taiwan. They want to see, in the case of Ukraine, how is the reaction of the West? How determined they are to fight back, and what weapon they have, and how the behavior, how efficient are all these weaponries. So by learning so, they will feel even more confidence for the future invasion to Taiwan. So I'm not quite agree with many people saying that, CCP have to think twice. Yeah, they have to think twice, that's true. But after thinking twice, they may still make a decision to invade. Now, moving from Ukraine to Shanghai. What is happening in Shanghai lockdown? I mean, you guys probably have heard about, high-rise building, several high-rise buildings, a group into a group, and they get locked down, totally locked down. People are not allowed to leave their apartment, and they could not even go out to buy, foodstuff and so on. And they use the so-called neighborhood committee, those people who usually monitor the residents in the residential area, to work as a food supplier, which is a chaos, of course. Many people never get the food they order, and also that they claim, as I mentioned in my previous episode, online order will also stop, because they claim that these people who are distributing online orders are spreading coronavirus. You see, so it's just crazy, and a lot of tragedies occurred in Shanghai. Old people even died of hunger. Yeah, just crazy. And you may have seen some video where people have managed to take, even foreigners suffer. It was a Frenchman who was crying, "I prefer to die," because he couldn't stand all this isolation for days and weeks. How come that they were doing that? Well, I think pandemic is not the whole reason. Yeah, part of the reason. Yeah, that they believe that they can really suppress the coronavirus to zero. Yeah, the zero case strategy. But you know that this is typical Chinese Communist Party. When they started persecuting the meditation school Falun Gong, they also claim that they want to make a zero case. That means within 3 months in China, they should wipe out all the practitioners of Falun Gong. There shouldn't be one left. Yeah? So zero case. They love. They over-believe in their power. Okay, that's of course a basic reason. But how come that it became so chaotic in Shanghai? Shanghai being the most modern city of China, how come they become most chaotic? There you have the political factor. It's not only a medical issue, absolutely not. Because, as I mentioned before, yeah, Shanghai is, you can say, the hub or the headquarters of the anti-Xi Jinping forces. Yeah, the opponents of Xi, they are highly concentrated in Shanghai. So they are actually using pandemic to fight against each other. Yeah, Xi Jinping, his people, is saying that everyone who are tested positive should be immediately isolated. So by doing so, by using this reason, they can basically arrest any of his opponents. Okay. Now, interesting is how come that they were doing it in such an extreme, totally inhumane. And I think there's actually another theory in saying that everybody know in Shanghai that this idea of zero case strategy came from the very top of the Communist Party. That means Xi Jinping himself. So, and most of the officials, except the top guy which was sent by Xi Jinping to Shanghai to fix Shanghai problem. Shanghai never like the top people in Beijing. Yeah? They always think that they are better. Yeah. So, and this guy, of course, trying to carry out Xi Jinping's order. Now, what happened is on the middle level and the lower level, all these officials, most of them, they don't like Xi. So there's two ways to do it. One way is you just pretend to obey and you are not doing it. But there's another way, which I think some of them are applying, and that is they go for the extreme. They see that, they really want to make zero case, so they are terrible. They lock in people and let them die and whatever, and create a tremendous dissatisfaction and tremendous sentiment among the Shanghai people. And of course, the people in Shanghai, they know that this idea of zero case came from Beijing, from the very top, so they won't blame their own official. So, and what does Xi Jinping want? Does it mean that he only wants to have power struggle? Yes, that's true. He wants power struggle, and he wants to get power for himself. He wants to get rid of his component. By doing so, the risk of invading Taiwan is not lower. It can be higher, because like all dictators, they want to make sure that they don't have problem at home. Yeah. So if he managed to get rid of all his components, particularly in all his opponents, yeah, particularly in Shanghai, then he feel free behind his backs when he one day start to invade Taiwan. So don't think that we are now in a better time. The risk of invasion against Taiwan is lower because of Ukraine, because of Shanghai lockdown. I'm not so sure. Depends on the outcome of the Ukrainian war, because it depends on the outcome of the lockdown in Shanghai. It can go both ways. So if Xi Jinping manage to lock down, to fix the corona problem, then he will feel free to invade, and particularly when he managed to wipe out his opponents, then the risk of invasion to Taiwan will become higher. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, and don't forget to click like if you like it, and also support us with Patreon and PayPal, and of course check your subscription that it is still valid. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.